What do you got for us, fantasy losers after day one?
I was hoping that Travis Hunter would go to a team where he'd be the unquestioned number one alpha wide receiver, the type of guy that could command 9 to 10 targets per game. Could he lead that team in targets this year? If we're playing the odds game, I would probably lean a little bit against it. I think it'll be close, but that's a problem. So I love that he went to Jacksonville. I'm hoping that Jacksonville just becomes one of these teams that just airs it out every single week. Their defense can't stop anybody. Their run game isn't very good. It's just going to be Trevor Lawrence throwing it all over the place. And these two receivers do get in that neighborhood of 7.5 to 8 targets per game, and they can be okay. But the upside case for Hunter, and to a lesser degree, Brian Thomas Jr., kind of went out the window. So I think those guys are very small losers. I think both tight ends are losers. I think Colston, Loveland, and Tyler Warren going to Chicago and Indy, respectively. Loveland being the first tight end off the board, I get it. Ben Johnson sees the next Sam Laporta and Colston Loveland. That sounds really good for fantasy, but there's a lot of sharing that has to be done. Not only is it DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, but Cole Kmet is still there, and Kmet's still going to play a decent amount of the time, and he could take some touchdowns. But that's another team that if they don't do enough to improve their run game, they're going to throw it all over the place. And so maybe that'll be a little bit of a help to Loveland, but he'd still probably live around 6 targets per game. I am hoping that Warren can get 6 targets per game, but goodness gracious, the quarterback situation in Indy, we knew it wasn't going to be good to begin with. Now he's going to be another short area target in an offense that's got Michael Pittman, that's got Josh Downs. I love the talent. I love Warren. I'm probably going to be the guy that takes Tyler Warren in every single draft this year, even though he went to Indianapolis. But I do worry about not only how many targets is he going to get at him, but how many touchdowns is he going to get? We know what happens when the Colts get inside the 5. Maybe he takes a couple of rushing touchdowns away from those quarterbacks there. He did that. He scored, 3 rushing touchdowns last year?
Can I give you a stat real quick, Dave?
Give me a stat. Make me feel better about these guys.
No, that's not what the stat is. Daniel Jones in his career has 70 touchdown passes in 70 games. Anthony Richardson in his career, I think he has 11 touchdown passes in something like 15 games. So together, those guys are averaging for their careers about 1 touchdown per game. We need to see a leap in passing from Anthony Richardson. I don't know if we're going to see that from Daniel Jones.
So the volume won't be there, and just the touchdowns won't be there. It's a bad combo.
And again, this was another year where I think, let's see, let me give you the exact stat. We have had three tight ends in the last 9 seasons that have finished top 5 at the position and have not been first or second on their team in targets. So is Colston Loveland going to be first or second on his team in targets? I don't think so. Is Tyler Warren? Maybe. But why does that matter? Well, okay, he could be tight end 6, tight end 7. Honestly, that's not that good of a player. Tight end 6, tight end 7 is really, you're talking like 750 yards and 5 touchdowns will probably get you to tight end 6 or tight end 7. So if you're going to draft a tight end who's going to have a major impact, he's got to be a top 5 tight end, and he has to be first or second on his team in targets to do it almost every single year. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Tight end 7 last year on a per game basis was Travis Kelce. He averaged 12.2 PPR points per game.
I'm not doing per game. I'm doing overall, because when you talk about being first,
overall it was Zach Ertz. He averaged 10.4 PPR points per game.
Exactly. You're not talking about a huge impact player.
So I know Bears fans like my son Ryan. He's over the moon that they got Colston Loveland, and maybe if Odunze doesn't click, maybe that's the path that it takes for Loveland to be a tight end monster in Chicago. But I don't love it, and I worry about the touchdowns for Warren. I still love the talent for Warren. But those are some losers right off the bat. Ibuka is probably going to be a loser in 2025. I get why the Bucs took him.
I hated that. That was terrible.
But Mike Evans is in a contract year again, and it might be his last year. Who knows? It could almost certainly be his last year in Tampa. And so Ibuka is a pick for the future for the Buccaneers.